I'll tell me ma when I get home, the boys won't leave to get alone. Pulled me hair, stole me comb, well that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she is the belle of Dublin city. She is a courtin' a 1, 2, 3, pray can you tell me who is he? Albert Mooney says he loves her, all the boys are fighting for her. Knock at the door, they ring at the bell, allow me through, love her, you well. Out she comes, while the snorings and her fingers, bells on her toes. Old Johnny Morrissey says she'll die if she doesn't get the fella with the roving knife. The wind and the rain and the hail blow high, and the snow come travelling through the sky. Jesus, sweet as apple pie, she'll get her own lad by and by. When she gets a lad of her own, she won't tell her ma when she gets home. Let them all come as they will, it's Albert Mooney she'll love still. Tell me ma when I get home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. Pull me hair, stole me comb, but that's alright till I get home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she is the belle of Dublin city. She is a courtin' of 1, 2, 3, pray can you tell me who is he? Albert Mooney says he loves her, all the boys are fighting for her. Knocking at the door, they're ringing the bells, allow me through, love her, you well. Out she comes, spite of snorings, and her fingers, bells on her toes. Old Jenny Morrissey says she'll die if she doesn't get the fella with the roving knife. The wind and the rain and the hail blow high, and the snow comes travelling through the sky. She's a sweet and apple pie, she'll get her own lad by and by. When she gets a lad of her own, she won't tell her ma when she gets home. Let them all come as they will, it's Albert Mooney she loves still. She is handsome, she is pretty, she is the belle of Dublin city. She is a courtin' of 1, 2, 3, pray can you tell me who is she?
As down the glen one Easter morn to a city fair rode I, there are met lines of marching men in squadrons passed me by. No fife did hum nor battle drum did sound its dread tattoo, but the Angelus bells o'er the Liffey swell rang out through the foggy dew. Right proudly high over Dublin town they hung out the flag of war. 'Twas better to die 'neath an Irish sky than at Sulva or Sudalbar. And from the plains of royal Meath strong men came hurrying through, while Britannia's Huns with their long-range guns sailed in through the foggy dew. 'Twas Britannia bade our wild geese go, that small nations might be free. But their lonely graves are by Sulva's waves, or the shore of the great North Sea. Oh, had they died by Pierce's side, or fought with Calbrew, their names we would keep where the Fenians sleep, 'neath the shroud of the foggy dew. But the bravest fell, and the requiem bell rang mournfully and clear, for those who died that Easter tide in the springing of the year. And the world did gaze in deep amaze at those fearless men, but few to board a fight that freedom's light might shine through the foggy dew.
In the county Tyrone, in the town of Dungannon, there was a man he's a looking that myself had a honnin'. Bob Williamson lived there, a weaver betrayed, and all of us taught him a stout orange blade. On the 12th of July, as the yearly did come, Bob played on his old flute to the sound of the drum. You can talk of your harp, your piano or lute, but nothing compared with the old orange flute. Sure is 6 miles from Bangor to Donegal. But Bob the deceiver, sure he took us all in, and he married a papist called Bridget McGinn. Turned papist himself and forsook the old cause that gave us our freedom, religion and laws. Now the boys of the place made some comment upon it, and Bob had to fly to the province of Connaught. Well, he fled with his wife and his fixings to boot, and along with the latter his old orange flute. Sure it's 6 miles from Bangor to Donegal. At the chapel on Sundays to atone for past deeds, he said pathers and office and he counted his beads, till after some time at the priest's own desire, Bob went with his old flute to play in the choir. Well, he went with his old flute to play in the moss, but the instrument shivered inside a loss. And below as he would, though it made a great noise, the flute would play only the Protestant boys. Sure it's 6 miles from Bangor to Donegal day. At a council of priests that was held the next day, they decided to banish the old flute away. They couldn't knock heresy out of its head, so they bought Bob a new one to play in instead. Now the old flute was doomed and its fate was botanic, was fastened and burdened at the stake at the Rannoch. As the flames roared around, it's sure they heard a queer noise, but the old flute still playing the Protestant boys. Toodaloo, toodaloo, sure it's 6 miles from Bangor to Donegal.
from the holy ground and the girls that we love true. We will sail the salt sea over, and then return for shore to see again as we love and the holy ground once more. Fine girl, you are the girl I do adore, and still I live in the hopes to see the holy ground once more. Fine girl, you are.
I see the storm arising, I see it coming soon, and the sky it is so cloudy you can scarcely see the moon. And the mojo ships he was tossing about, the Ragman was all torn, and still I live in hope to see the holy ground once more.
Fine girl, you are the girl I do adore, and still I live in hopes to see the holy ground once more. Fine girl, you are.
And now the storm is over,
and we are safe on shore. We will drink and toast to the holy ground and the girls that we adore. We will drink strong ale and porter and make their laughters roar. And when our money is all spent, we'll go to sea for more. Fine girl, you are the girl I do adore, and still I live in hopes to see the holy ground once more. Fine girl, you are. Good evening, all me jolly lads, I'm glad to find you well. If you'll gather all around me now, the story I will tell. For I've got the situation, and me gara and me gob. I can whisper I've the weekly wage of 19 bob. 'Tis 12 months come October since I left me native home, after helping in Killarney boys to bring the harvest down. But now I wear a gansey and around me waist a belt. I am the gaffer at the squad that makes the hot asphalt. Well, we laid it in the hollows and we laid it in the flat, and if it doesn't last forever, sure I swear I ain't me hat. Well, I've wandered up and down the world, but sure I've never felt any surface that was equal to the hot asphalt. The other night a copper comes and he says to me, Maguire, would you kindly let me light me pipe down at your pile of fire? Well, he planks himself straight down and with hobness up to late. Here says I, me decent man, you better go and mind your bait. He ups and yells, I'm doing on you, I'm up to all your pranks. Don't I know you're a traitor from the temporary ranks? Boys, I hit straight from the shoulder and I gave him such a belt that I knocked him into the boiler full of hot asphalt. Well, we laid it in the hollows and we laid it in the flat, and if it doesn't last forever, sure I swear it ain't me hat. Well, I wandered up and down the world, but sure I never felt any surface that was equal to the hot asphalt. We quickly dragged him out again and we threw him in the tub, and with soap and warm water we began to rub and scrub. But devil the thing it hardened and it turned him hard as stone, and with every other rupture you could hear the copper groan. I'm thinking, says O'Reilly, that he's looking like old Nick, and burn me if I'm not inclined to claim him with me pick. Now says I, it would be easier to boil him till he melts, and to store him nice and easy in the hot asphalt. Well, we laid it in the hollows and we laid it in the flat, and if it doesn't last forever, sure I swear it ain't me hat. Well, I wandered up and down the world, but sure I've never felt any surface that was equal to the hot asphalt. You may talk about your sailor lads, ballad singers and the rest, your shoemakers and your tailors, but we plays the ladies best. The only ones who know the way to flinty hard to melt are the lads around the boiler making hot asphalt. with rubbing and with scrubbing, sure they cut me death of cold. Was scientific purposes, me body it was sold. In the Kelvin Globe Museum, me boys, I'm hanging in me belt as a monument to the Irish making hot passion. Well, we laid it in the hollows and we laid it in the flat, and if it doesn't last forever, sure to swear I'd take me hat. Well, I wandered up and down the world, but sure I never felt any surface that was equal to the hot passion.
I wish in vain. I wish I was a youth again, but a youth again I can never be, till the apples grow on an ivy tree. I left me father, I left me mother, I left all me sisters and brothers too. I left all me friends and me own religion. I left them all but to follow you. But the sweetest apple is the soonest rotten, and the hottest love is the soonest cold. And what can't be cured, love, has to be endured, love. And now I am bound for America. Oh, love is pleasing, and love is teasing, and love is a pleasure when first it's new. But as it grows older, sure the love grows colder, and it fades away like the morning dew. And love and porter makes a young man older, and love and whiskey makes him old and grey. And what can be cured, love, has to be endured, love. And now I am bound for America. Been the date and the year, though the Waterloo sportsmen and more did appear, for to gain the great prizes and to bear them away, never counting on Ireland and Master MaGrath. On the 12th of November, that day of renown, MaGrath his keeper, they left Lurgan town. A gale in the channel, it soon drove them on. On the 13th they landed on England's shore. Oh, well, when they arrived there in big London's town, those great English sportsmen all gathered around, and one of those gentlemen standing nearby said, "Is that the great dog you call Master MaGrath?" Oh, well, one of those gentlemen standing around said, "I don't care a damn for your Irish greyhound." And another he sneered with a scornful ha-ha, "We'll soon humble the pride of your Master MaGrath." Lord Lurgan stepped forward and he says, "Gentlemen, if there's any amongst you has money to spend, for your grand English nobles I don't care a straw, hit 5,000 to 1 upon Master MaGrath." Oh, MaGrath, he looked up and he wagged his old tail, informing his lordship, "Sure, I know what you mean. Don't be a noble brown, no, don't be him MaGrath. I'll soon tarnish his laurels, says Master MaGrath. Oh, well, the rose stood uncovered, that great English pride. Her master and keeper went close by her side. They let them away, and the crowd cried hurrah, for the pride of old England and Master MaGrath. Oh, well, the Rose and the Master, they both ran along. I wonder, said Rose, what took you from your home? You should have stayed there in your Irish domain, and had come to gain laurels on Albion's plain. Well, I know, said the Master, we've wild heather bogs, but be dead in old Ireland, there's good men and dogs. Be done for Britannia, give none of your jaw. Stuff that up your nostrils, says Master MaGrath. Well, the hare she led on just as swift as the wind. He was sometime before her and sometime behind. He jumped on her back and held up his owl paw. Long live the Republic, says Master MaGrath. Listen to me for a while, me good friends one and all, and I'll sing to you a verse or two about a famous ball. Now the ball was given by some friends who lived down in a street, in a certain house in the Liberties where the Ragman used to meet. Well, the names were called at 7 o'clock, and every man was on the spot. And to show respect for the management, every Ragman brought his mutt. I must admit that I brought mine at 25 minutes to 9, and the first to stand up was Kieran Grace for to tell me I was late. Then up jumps Humpy Soodlum, and he says I think somehow, be the ways are all going on tonight, is all looking for a row. Now listen here, Grace, if you want your face, you better not shout or bawl. There's a lot of hard shaws going to be here tonight to respect the Ragman's ball. Well, 'tis my one, you're a queer one now, and biddy your hard to beat. When up jumps Eliza Boland, and she told her to hold her pride. Then my one made a cloud at her, she missed her and hit the wall. and the two of them went in the ambulance the night of the Ragman's ball. Oh, of eating we had plenty now, as much as we could hold. We drank Brady's Lupline Porter until around the floor we rolled. In the midst of all the confusion, someone shouted for a song. When up jumps old Dunlavin and sings, keep rolling your barrel along. Then we all sat down to some ham pairings when everything was quiet. And for broken noses I must say, we had a lovely night. Black eyes, they were in great demand, not to mention split heads and all. So if anyone wants to commit suicide, let him come to the Ragman's ball. Oh, they say that the lakes of Killarney are fair, no stream like the Liffey could ever compare. If it's water you want, you'll get nothing more rare than the stuff they make down by the ocean. The sea, oh, Royal Maid, long may it stay between England and me. It's a sure guarantee that somehow we'll be free. Thank God we're surrounded by water. Tom Moore made these waters meet fame and renown, a great lover of anything dressed in a crown. In brandy the bandy, old Saxon he drowned, and thrown everyone into the ocean. The sea, oh, Royal Maid, long may it stay between England and me. It's a sure guarantee that somehow we'll be free. Thank God we're surrounded by water. Oh, the Scots have their whiskey, the Welsh have their speech. Their poets are paid about 10 pence a week, provided no hard word on England they speak. Oh Lord, what a price for devotion. The sea, oh, Royal Maid, long may it stay between England and me. It's a sure guarantee that somehow we'll be free. Thank God we're surrounded by water. The Danes came to Ireland with nothing to do but dream of the plundered old Irish they slew. With your Welsh and your Vikings and Brian Barrow, and he threw them back into the ocean. The sea, oh, Royal Maid, long may it stay between England and me. It's a sure guarantee that somehow we'll be free. Thank God we're surrounded by water. Two foreign old monarchs in battle to join, each wanting his head on the back of a coin. If the Irish had sense, they'd drown both in the mine and partition throw into the ocean. The sea, oh, Royal Maid, long may it stay between England and me. It's a sure guarantee that somehow we'll be free. Thank God we're surrounded by water.
I've been a wild rover for many's the year, and I've spent all me money on whiskey and beer. But now I'm returning with gold in great store, and I never will play the wild rover no more, and it's no nay, never. No nay, never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more. I went into an alehouse I used to frequent, and I told the landlady me money was spent. I asked her for credit, she answered me nay. Such a custom as yours I can have every day, and it's no nay, never. No nay, never, no more will I play the Wild Rover. No, never, no more. I then took from me pocket 10 sovereigns bright, and the landlady's eyes opened wide with delight. She says, I have whiskies and the wines of the best, and the words that you told me were only in jest, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the Wild Rover. No, never, no more. I'll go home to my parents, confess what I've done, and I'll ask them to pardon their prodigal son. And when they've caressed me as oft times before, I never will play the Wild Rover no more, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the Wild Rover. No, never, no more, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the Wild Rover. No, never, no more.
It was down by Christchurch that I first met her with Annie, a neat little girl and not a bit shy. She told me her father, that came from Dungannon, would take her back home in the sweet by and by. And what to do any man, whether or no, whether I'm easy or whether I'm true. As I lifted her petticoat easy and slow, and I tied up me sleeve for to buckle her shoe. Oh, down along Thomas Street, down to the Liffey, the sunshine was gone and the evening grew dark. Along be Kingsbridge and be gone in a jiffy, me arms were around her beyond in the park. And what to do any man, whether or no, whether I'm easy or whether I'm true. As I lifted her petticoat easy and slow, and I tied up me sleeve for to buckle her shoe. Oh, from city or country, I girdled a jewel, and well known for gripping the most of the mar. But any young fella, he's really a fool if he tries it the first time for to go a bit far. And what to do any man, whether or no, whether I'm easy or whether I'm true. As I lifted her petticoat easy and slow, and I tied up me sleeve for to buckle her shoe. And if ever you go to the town of Dungannon, you can search till your eyeballs are empty and blind. Be you lying or walking, or sitting or running, a girl like Annie you never will find. And what to do any man, whether or no, whether I'm easy or whether I'm true. As I lifted her petticoat easy and slow, and I tied up me sleeve for to buckle her shoe.
Ah, well, he wouldn't be a sailor lad a sailing on the main to gain the goodwill of his captain's good name. He came ashore one evening for to be, and that was the beginning of me own for loving me. And it's home, boys, home. Home I'd like to be, home for a while in me own country, where the oak and the ash and the bonny rowel tree are all a-growing green in the north country. Well, I asked her for a candle for to light me up to bed, and likewise for a handkerchief to tie around me head. She tended to me needs like a young maid ought to do. So then I says to her, now won't you let them with me too? And it's home, boys, home. Home I'd like to be, home for a while in the own country, where the oak and the ash and the bonny rowel tree are all a-growing green in the north country. Well, she jumped into bed, making no alarm, thinking a young sailor lad could do to her no harm. Well, I hugged her and I kissed her the whole night long, till she wished the short night had been 7 years long. And it's home, boys, home. Home I'd like to be, home for a while in me own country, where the oak and the ash and the bonny rowel tree are all a-growing green in the north country. Well, early next morning the sailor lad arose, and into Mary's apron threw a handful of gold, saying, take this, me dear, for the mischief that I've done. For tonight I fear I've left you with a daughter or a son. And it's home, boys, home. Home I'd like to be, home for a while in me own country, where the oak and the ash and the bonny rowel tree are all a-growing green in the north country. Well, if it be a girl child, send her out to nurse, with gold in her pocket and with silver in her purse. And if it be a boy child, he'll wear the jacket blue and go climbing up the rigging like his daddy used to do. And it's home, boys, home. Home I'd like to be, home for a while in me own country, where the oak and the ash and the bonny rowel tree are all a-growing green in the north country. Oh, come all of you fair maidens, I wanna take me, and never let a sailor lad an inch above your knee. For I trusted one and he beguiled me, he left me with a pair of twins to dangle on me knee. And it's home, boys, home. Home I'd like to be, home for a while in me own country, where the oak and the ash and the bonny rowel tree are all a-growing green in the north country. Well, in the merry month of May, now from me home I started, left the girls and two, I'm nearly broken hearted, saluted father dear, kissed me darling mother, drank a pint of beer, me grief and tears to smothered enough to reap the corn and leaf, for I was born, got a stout blackthorn, the banished ghost and goblins, a brand new pair of brogues to rattle over the bogs and frighten all the dogs on the rocky road, to double a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up the hill and turn them down the rocky road, and all the ways to double a McFallaldy. In Mullingar that night I rested so weary, started by daylight next morning light, and there he took a drop of the pure to keep me heart and drink, and that's the paddy's cure. When there he's on for drinking, they hear the lassie smile, laughing all the while at me curious style, to touch a heart above, and he asked me was I hired and wages I required till I was almost tired of the rocky road, to double and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt a hare and turn her down the rocky road, and all the way to Dublin, McFallaldy. In Dublin next the ride, I thought it such a pity to be so soon deprived the view of Dublin city. Then I took a stroll all among the quality bundle, it was stowel in a neat locality. Something crossed me mind when I looked behind, no bundle could I find upon me stick. Go on inquiring after the rogue, said me Conneth brogue, it wasn't much in vogue on the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt a hare and turn them down the rocky road, and all the ways to Dublin, McFallaldy. From there I got away, me spirits never failing, landed on the quay just as the ship was sailing. Captain at me road said that no room had he when I jumped aboard a cabin flew for Paddy. Down among the pigs, did some hearty rigs and played some hearty jigs. The water round me bubbling when I finally had, I wished myself was dead or better far instead. On the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up the hill and turn her down the rocky road, and all the ways to Dublin, McFallaldy. The boys of Liverpool, when we safely landed, called myself the fool. I could no longer stand it, blood began to boil. Templar I was new as and poured all there in Zyle. They began abusing haram me, so says I'm shillelagh I'll apply. Galway boys were by, and so I was a hobbling with the lower hooray, the giant in the affray. Quickly clear the way for the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the hare and turn her down the rocky road, and all the ways to Dublin, McFallaldy.
The Princess Landing Stage, they were merry, fare thee well. I am bound for California, a place I know right well. So fare thee well, I own true love, when I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee.
I am bound for California, by way of stormy Cape Horn. I will write to thee a letter, love, when I am homeward bound.
So very well, my own true love, when I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. I have shipped on a Yankee clipper ship, Davy Crockett is her name. Dan Burgess is the captain of her, and they say that she's a floating hell. So fare thee well, my own true love, when I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, my darling, when I think of thee.
I have sailed with Burgess once before, I think I know him well. If a man's a sailor, he will get along, if not any shore in hell.
So fare
fare thee well, my own true love. When I return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee.
Terrace and Park Lane. I am bound away for to leave you, and I'll never see you again. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee.
From the holy ground and the girls that we love true, we will sail the salt sea over and then return for shore to see again the girls we love and the holy ground once more. Fine girl you are, the girl I do adore, and still I live in hopes to see the holy ground once more. Fine girl you are.
I see it coming soon, and the sky it is so cloudy you can scarcely see the moon. And the mojo ships he was tossing about, the Ragman was all torn, and still I live in hope to see the holy ground once more.
Fine girl you are, the girl I do adore, and still I live in hopes to see the holy ground once more. Fine girl you are, and now the storm is over, and we are safe on shore. We will drink and toast to the holy ground and the girls that we adore. We will drink strong ale and porter, and make their laughters more, and when our money is all spent, we'll go to sea for more. Fine girl you are, the girl I do adore, and still I live in hopes to see the holy ground once more. Fine girl you are. On the banks of the Rose is me love, and I sat down, and I took out me fiddle for to play me love a tune. And in the middle of the tune, now she smiled and she said, "Yeah, Johnny, lovely Johnny, would you leave me?" Well, when I was a young one, I heard me father say that he'd rather see me dead and buried in the clay sooner than be married to any runaway by the lovely sweet banks of the roses. On the banks of the roses, me love, and I sit down, and I took out me fiddle for to play me love a tune. In the middle of the tune, oh, she smiled and she said, "Yeah, Johnny, lovely Johnny, would you leave me?" Well, then I am no runaway, and so when I let them know that I can take the bottle or can leave it alone, and if our daddy doesn't like it, he can keep his daughter at home, and young Johnny will go roving with another. On the banks of the roses, me love, and I sat down, and I took out the fiddle for to play me love a tune. And in the middle of the tune, oh, she smiled and she said, "Yeah, Johnny, lovely Johnny, would you leave me?" And when I get married, 'twill be in the month of May, when the leaves they are green and the meadows they are gay, and me and me true love we'll sit and sport and play by the lovely sweet banks of the roses. On the banks of the roses, me love, and I sat down, and I took out me fiddle for to play me love a tune. And in the middle of the tune, oh, she smiled and she said, "Yeah, Johnny, lovely Johnny, would you leave me?" As I went a walking one morning in May, I met a young couple so fondly did stray. And one was a young maid so sweet and so fair, and the other was a soldier and a brave grenadier. And they kissed so sweet and comforting as they clung to each other. They went darling along the road like sister and brother. They went arming along the road till they came to a stream, and they both sat down together, loved to hear the Nightingale sing. Well, out of his knapsack he took a fine fiddle. He played her such merry tunes that you ever did hear. He played her such merry tunes that the valley did ring, and softly cried a fair maid as the nightingale sings. And they kissed so sweet and comforting as they clung to each other. They went arming along the road like sister and brother. They went arming along the road till they came to a stream, and they both sat down together, loved to hear the nightingale sing. Oh, I'm off to India for 7 long years, drinking wines and strong whiskies instead of strong beers. And if ever I return again, 'twill be in the spring, and we'll both sit down together, love to hear the nightingale sing. And they kissed so sweet and comforting as they clung to each other. They went arming along the road like sister and brother. They went arming along the road till they came to a stream, and they both sat down together, love to hear the nightingale sing. Well then, says the fair maid, will you marry me? Oh no, says the soldier, however can that be? For I've my own wife at home in my own country, and she is the finest little maid that you ever did see. And they kissed so sweet and comforting as they clung to each other. They went arming along the road like sister and brother. They went arming along the road till they came to a stream, and they both sat down together, loved to hear the nightingale sing.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to play a couple of reels on the fiddle now. The Sligo Maid and Rodney. Please give a shout.